and I don't see none but bums. You and your whole entire world know that I am the one. You and your squad ain't got nothing for me. Your organization is looking stressed, and now that you haters is running from me, I know that you see that I'm highly blessed.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we live with your boy Coach G. Yeah, we live with your boy Monty.
You and your squad ain't got nothing for me. Your organization is looking stressed, and now that you haters is running from me, I know that you see that I'm highly blessed.
Welcome into another episode 53 of The Rewind, brought to you by Global Sports Entertainment 3. The captain, the man of the ship, Monty Moss, alongside my co-host partner, BG Bryan Garvin, who will be joining us momentarily. I know we're off to a 51-minute delay, but backstory, we've had one of our guests that will join us at some point through tonight's episode had some audio difficulties. And, of course, my lovely Mac computer had a mind of its own with a, last-minute crash/update. I'm not sure. But all grace to the good Lord, we are here, right? Push. Pray until something happens. If you haven't, subscribe to our YouTube channel at 31_GSC3, as well as follow us on all of our social media platforms at 31_GSC3. I know we're trending in the right direction from a YouTube subscriber standpoint, so appreciate all the love and support. Our TikTok is growing. Our Instagram is continuously growing. Facebook, we're getting a lot of views, over 45,000, I believe, and counting over the last 28 days or so. So we're just trying to continue to trend this thing in the right direction, move this goalpost as we continue to grow and open more doors as much as we can for the brand as well as for the podcast. But all grace to the good Lord, man, because I know our guest that we have coming on tonight was very, 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 very patient with the process and setup. So I just want to give a special shout out to my dog, Chris, at 99 Studios for making sure to give him the comfortability that he needs for tonight's episode. But I guess when you have a 51-minute delay, you better be ready as can be. So let's get this thing going. Let's get my co-host in here, Chicago's finest, Temple alum. He's a 4-time state champion in his co-head coaching career. He's coached both football and basketball over the past 25-plus years. He's also inducted into the Newark Hall of Fame. And 51 minutes later, he's got a little power nap in the green room, but now he's here. Bryant, episode 53. What's good, brother? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm just now waking up.
Oh, I'll see you later. I can take care of this on my own. You want to go to
Hey, look. I'm about to lay on the bed and do some OnlyFans.
No.
Yeah. Hey,
don't say that, man. Don't say that.
I can show my ass. I can show my ass. I can show my my tatas.
No. Show those big alligator bunions you got.
Yeah, it's pretty much. I
get paid scratching through the sheets.
I get paid from it.
Dude, you can't say OnlyFans in 2026. Not on. No.
Why not?
Can't do that.
Everybody else do.
We're not everybody else. You about to get us canceled. We ain't even get started.
Oh, God.
I know we got 53 episodes of show for, but you about to get us canceled. There ain't going to be no sponsorships. There ain't going to be no brand partnerships, nothing, because you out here promoting your OnlyFans. Well, tell people where they can find you, where they can find your OnlyFans. Where can they find
I don't have an address for OnlyFans.
You have an OnlyFans account?
No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't.
It's good to see you, man.
Yeah, hey, man, it's good to be here. I'm tired as hell. Today was a workout day.
Oh, man.
My old age, I got to stay in shape. Make sure my gut is, flat as can be. I'm proud to say that I'm in the size 38 pants, though. I went from a 42 to 38. That's impressive.
That is impressive. And if it makes you feel any better, I've been up since probably 3:41-ish this morning and couldn't go back to bed. So I don't know how many hours that is later, but I'm of course I'm running on fumes, but the grind continues and the show must go on, and we got a thing to do for the people, and we gonna make this thing happen one way or another. But we here, brother. We here.
Yeah, we're here.
We here. One way, and I gotta deal with you tonight again.
That's every day, every week. 52 weeks. Put some hot sauce on my burrito, baby.
Man, we got a good guest, two good guests coming in, but as I said before, our one of our guests has had some audio issues. So at some point throughout tonight's episode, we will try to get him plugged in. But that's why we have the best producer on the planet, Chris, and his good old team from Canada that I'm going to get ready to talk about just momentarily because, you know, Chris is a diehard Canadian. He's from Canada, Toronto, Canada. And, you know, he was going for Canada in the Winter Olympics. You know, we're not going to talk about the other sports like skiing and all the other stuff. We're going to talk about what matters most because, you know, the United States, both men and women's made history in the Winter Olympics. But we're going to get to there just momentarily. But let's get our first guest in here by the name of Terrence Burke, born and raised in New York City. Terrence has an MFA in cinematography from American Film Institute. American Film Institute is a prestigious top film school in the world. He's a sports enthusiast, born and raised in Bronx, New York. He works as a director of photography and also is a director in the TV and film industry. He loves traveling the world and enjoying life. You can see some of his work on his website, Terrence Laron, Laron, that is, Burke.com. And he's joining us now on episode 53, the man, the myth, and the guy that's going to be recording me playing a smackdown on Bryant tonight. Terrence Burke is here joining us. Thank you for your patience. Welcome into the Rewind, episode 53. Black King, happy Black History Month, 100 years. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for that intro. That's amazing, man. It's going to be fun.
Man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I'm lucky to be here with you and Bryan and Chris, and I'm excited for this, man. Let's do it, man. I'm looking forward to it.
I don't know about that New York hat.
You
could have left that hat alone. You could have kept that where it was.
But hey, Monty. So I didn't have my hat initially, but I saw that Bryan had his hat, and then Chris had his Blue Jay hat, which is in my division. So I said, let me go get my Yankee hat. Let me pull it out. You know.
So I got to call. I got to call my cousin Javon because you know he's at with Orlando now.
Yes, he is. So.
And he's balling too. So I got to get
he's
Orlando
on the court.
back,
he is playing.
Yes,
he is playing.
He's playing. I'm
he's playing.
Damn. That means Billy Donovan is an asshole.
So the Grizzlies, is that just for like, you know, Ja Morant, or is that just
This is when he first
was there. Yes,
was there. It's his first team. So you know, his mom, Cynthia Johnson, gave me the hat when I met her over my you know, somebody's house. I ain't gonna mention his name.
Well, but I'm gonna tell Terrence right now, we're already off to a bad start. All right, I'm a Mets fan. You can't come on this platform wearing Yankees pride stripes and colors. But I have nothing against the Yankees, so I'm gonna give you a pass. You know, your family. And funny backstory, Brian. Terrence was originally supposed to come on at some point, I believe, late March, and you know, through the power of the pivot, as I always say, right? Knowing when to pivot. One of our guests who's supposed to have on tonight, Ice is Young, who's currently traveling right now. She's doing a lot of work with Unrivaled League. That comes on TNT, and she couldn't make it on tonight. So something, we'll get her on at a different date, but she kind of just rescheduled. And I said, hey, I already have one guest already for this particular date on the 25th. Do you think you can make it happen? And he said, that's Wednesday coming up, right? I said, yes, absolutely. And he said, no problem. I'm there. Sent me all the stuff. We got everything done. And by the grace of God, Terrence is here. And he waited patiently. Thank you for your patience, sir. But it's time to get stuff cracking, man. I love you. I appreciate you. I can't promise you if I'll be nice to you tonight. You are one of our guests. But whatever Bryant says or does, please don't take no offense to it. Sometimes he go on these little rants.
I'm going to say some shit. Yeah, it's good.
He may not take his medicine. We're not sure. But we're here. We're here. Let's get it started with our first segment of tonight, and that's the recap from the Olympics this past winter in Italy. Just kicking off, both men's and women's hockey saw gold. And I know Chris is going to give me a funny graphic at some particular point, but I'm just going to wait and keep things going. For the women's, Megan Keller with the overtime win goal versus Canada. And also, fun fact news, if you didn't know, Layla Edwards being the first Black woman to not also be on the United States women's hockey team, but also be the first Black woman and player to win gold medal for the United States women's team. So we know that Layla Edwards is forever written down in the history books. She doesn't have to worry about anything for the gold. That Black Queen of on 100 years of Black history, even though we celebrate Black history 12 months out of the year. Let's get that straight too. But for the women, gold continues a legacy of dominance and leadership. It's proof of sustained excellence, investment, and development, and setting the global standard for the sport. And Chris, I know. USA beat Canada twice this past Olympics, 3-0 in the first matchup, and then 2-1 in overtime. I know. I love you. Just can't get them all. And then the flip side to it, when we go to the men's side, the men's taking care of business in the gold medal game against no other than who? Canada, breaking the first time that United States, has won the gold medal since the 1980 miracle. Ain't God good. Took us long enough, but damn it, we're finally here. Connor Hellebuck should never have to buy another drink in his entire life in the state of Michigan. He's born and raised in Michigan. The performance that he put on in that game right there, the 3 periods for the United States, absolutely extraordinary. Held us down. I mean, go back and watch the tape. He literally is the reason why we won. I mean, Canada had a breakaway, I remember, in the 3rd period. What a save by Connor. They had no Sidney Crosby for this game. I thought that was a difference maker for Canada because you need your captain on the biggest game at the biggest stage, and that's the gold medal game. Not having his presence, I felt pretty much hurt Canada's chances to winning because they just didn't have that extra step. Sidney Crosby brings that. So we're wishing for him for a healthy recovery. Jack Hughes, the golden goal in overtime. First time since 1980, U.S. takes gold. Charlie McAvoy, I mean, the guy was just awesome in that period. That's in the 3rd period, pretty much putting his body on the line to help Hellebuck pretty much defend the goal and prevent Canada from scoring. Celebrine, as I talked about, had a breakaway early on in the 3rd period, but that was stopped. But all in all, to recap all of this, for the men, it symbolizes breaking through on the world stage through discipline, depth, and belief, coming together when it mattered most. It reinforces that USA hockey isn't just competitive, it's championship caliber. It's not about medals, it's about momentum. Momentum for the next generation of United States hockey stars, for broader access and continued elevation of hockey in the United States. Now, listen, I'm not going to sit here and rant enough about USA is back. It's good to have gold. It's good to win gold since 1980. And I would be remiss if I didn't just take this, spin it up, put it on a bow, send it to Canada, the 1990 studios, and tell Chris, thank you. We love you. United States, we love you. Bracing you with open arms on kicking that ass in the Winter Olympics to not win 1 gold, but he gives us this lovely graphic. All-time hockey gold medal count. So USA winning their 3rd ones, like I said, since 1980. Canada tied with Russia for 9, but that's okay, Chris. You know, Canada's getting a little older. You know, USA is a little younger. So I'm quite confident that we will win another gold medal in the next Winter Olympics in the years to come. So congratulations to the men's, women's winning gold in Italy. And Bryan and Terrence, is always good knowing that rooting for your country is already one thing during the Olympics, but to beat Canada, a country that, you know, we somewhat have a love-hate relationship with, at least our president that's currently in the country wants us to believe that way. But it's always good to win gold, right, Bryan, Terrence? I mean, no matter it's basketball, hockey, women's basketball, skiing, it does not matter. Gold is gold, and to win it with the United States across your chest and on your back, that's a whole nother standard. So shout out to those guys. What do you guys got to say about that? Us winning gold.
Well, I'm going to chime in and say to Chris is that he has to thank the brothers for going up there to Canada during Black History Month and teaching them how to play hockey. Because if they didn't do that, there would be no hockey in Canada.
That is true.
So yet, those 9 medals, half of them belong to us anyway. Because we had to go somewhere. To got to go up to Canada and teach them how to play a game. They started the game up there. Mm-hmm. So hey, man, hey, we can share it. You know what I mean? Yeah, you guys have 9, we got 3. But, you know, you can share that over because we did you a favor.
A little small favor. Terrence, anything you have to say about this United States men's and women's winning gold? I mean, Layla Edwards being the first Black hockey player to be on a national team and also win a gold medal. She should never have to pay for drinks anywhere she goes throughout the 52 states in the country. Actually, she has to pay for drinks in the world. What's your take on USA winning, not also in men's, but also for the women's?
Yeah, the women's gold, that was great. You know what I mean? It's always great when we can win gold and show that we're the top tier in the world. As for the hockey game, the men's hockey team, I mean, it's, what have you done for me lately? Forget those 9 golds. We won this year, and we beat them. We beat them in their own sport.
We sure did.
And it was the first time we won since the Miracle on Ice. So that's another thing. So it's like this is a blessing, and it's great. I feel so happy for these hockey players and for our country. And I've been hearing a lot of crying past couple of days from the Canadians about the overtime rules and everything.
Yeah, 3-on-3. Yeah,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
We all played the same. We played the same rules. You know what I mean? If we're 3-on-3, we played the same rules. So that's all that matters. If I don't care if it's like 100. How many would they win in 100 games? No, you won in the game that you needed to win. That's it.
Yeah, I think one thing to piggyback on Terrence, I can get both sides to it. I know it obviously in NHL, the overtime rules is 5-on-5. I would have probably, if I were to make a change to it, I would probably put to the start of overtime, start with a 5-on-5. After the first 3 minutes of play in overtime and nothing happens, no one scores, reduce that to 4-on-4, and the same thing, reduce that to 3-on-3, and then let the 3-on-3 ride out until overtime's completed. Of course, the Canadians will have some type of excuse to come up with when they lose. But had they won with the 3-on-3, they would have been like, "Oh, life is great. We got another gold medal. USA sucks." So, to each his own, I guess. Can't have everything your way, right, Bryant? Can't have everything both ways. Can't have both ways.
You just can't. It's just what it is. Take it.
It's just what it is.
We are the champs. Is it gold medalists?
Hey, can we get a congratulations to the USA men's and women's hockey for winning gold in Italy? Come on, Chris, give me the clap. I know it's painful. It's painful. But we love you. Thank you. I love you. Chris, shame on you, brother. Congratulations hockey on winning gold in Italy. We'll see you guys in the next 4 years for the Winter Olympics. Let's continue to get this train rolling. We switch gears to NCAA basketball. Finally, I never thought I'd see the day we'd be back here on full-time constraints, but it's almost that time for March Madness, as our bracket challenge will be here momentarily for you guys live on the Rewind. But we talk about Kansas freshman Jayhawks star Darren Peterson and potential lottery pick. When I say potential, I mean a few weeks ago he was projected to be a number 1 pick, but there's has been some sequence of chain of events that has changed that to pretty much put his draft stock somewhat in contention. He came out with this response to his critics after recent news saying, "But basketball is my life. If I could have been out there every game this year, I would have." I certainly disagree, but we'll get into that right now. He's been quite questionable in recent play for the Jayhawks, but what we do know is that recently the number 14 Kansas Jayhawks beat the number 5 Houston team 69-56 in Kansas. We know that Peterson's days in Lawrence are already numbered, as I talked about being a potential lottery pick. In his game against Houston, he played 30 minutes, scoring 14 points, 5 of 14 from the field, had 4 rebounds. After the post-game press conference, after beating Houston, he said, in quote, "I don't pay attention to outside talk." What we do know is that Kansas' next game is this Saturday on the road at number 2 Arizona. And that's a game right there that is pretty much it's going to be a win, do or die for Kansas in terms of their seeding and another quad 1 win on their resume as they prepare for the NCAA tournament coming up next month. But Terrence, I'll start with you. We've seen Darren Peterson been out a lot. Let's just call it load management in college basketball, something I haven't seen in prior ever. Bryan can probably say the same. But for you, what's been your assessment of Darren Peterson this year for the Kansas Jayhawks?
I've seen him play a few games, and what I have to say is that, look, this kid is 19 years old, but he's being paid to play. He's getting money from trading cards, Adidas, and Kansas. So you're a pro now. You have to play. You're playing for your school. You're playing for your coach. You're playing for yourself. I look at Coach Cal, his Arkansas team. He had a player who was in a walking boot for a couple of days. Coach Cal asked him, "Hey, are you going to be able to play?" And the guy said, "Are you crazy? Of course I'm playing." And the guy had 49 points. So my thing with Peterson is I don't know if it's his team is the one who's giving him this load management, but to me he's not. He is a lottery pick, but he's not my number one pick. My number one pick is BYU's AJ DeBonsa. That guy plays hard. He can do everything on the court. He's 6'9", and he looks like he's not only he's a baller, but he's a dog. And I just don't think that this kid is a dog. You know, I mean, he's missed 11 to 12 games already, and he's played less than 25 minutes, 7 games. And so, and one thing that disturbed me was he was at a meeting with his team with a couple players, the podium, and he said, "I'm antisocial and I'm a loner." What's going to happen if he goes to the NBA and he has a couple of DNPs, or he doesn't score? People lock him down. Is he going to melt? Is he going to melt down? You know, is he going to go? Is he going to go inward? If he's the number one pick, you're supposed to be the franchise. You're supposed to be like a marketing guy. You're supposed to be the team, like the kind of team leader. He needs to be. He reminds me of Kawhi. So Kawhi, the best thing that happened to Kawhi is he was drafted by the Pacers, but then he was immediately traded to the Spurs. So now you have all of these guys. You got Duncan, Parker, Ginobili. You got Coach P. So he was protected. This kid, if he's going to be successful, he needs to go to a team where there's a strong veteran presence and a strong coach for him to succeed. Because I think he's going to need time to mature.
Yeah, Brian, I want to get your assessment on this. In 28 games played for Kansas this year, he's missed 11, missing 11 games, 19 points, 5 rebounds this year is average for the Kansas Jayhawks. Has been, I think, the most pivotal point for me for Darren Peterson this year was a game that Kansas played, and he literally looked at Bill Self, the head coach of the Kansas Jayhawks, and subbed himself out of the game. He wound up missing the next few games after that. But being involved in the world of basketball, how important your draft stock is, especially when you're a lottery pick. What's been your take on Darren Peterson's recent play, and how much confidence do you have in him to give the Kansas Jayhawks the boost they need, and that's to get to the Final Four and cut down the nets in March?
Well, you already know that I said Kansas is a fraud team. It's just year in, year out, they have always been there, the Elite Eight or whatever it may be, but they're not going to the Final Four. And I wouldn't take this kid in the first round, first pick, not at all. I you know me as coaching for over 26 years. I hate coaching weird players because it's hard to get that continuity with them, and it's hard to be able to discipline a weird guy because you don't know how they're going to flip and how they're going to take certain things. He's just a kid that I know he's 19. I know he's young. And I've coached a lot of 19-year-olds, and I've coached some weird ones, but I knew how to navigate because I had that relationship with them. But afterwards, it's just that continuity kind of breaks. So, a lot of guys that wasn't weird, I talked to him to today. But he's just a teeter-totter type player. You just don't know which one you're going to get. And with the NBA. We talk about veterans with Terrence. The veterans are young. This is a young league now. So who's going to kind of take a 19-year-old when with other teams they're 21 and 22? It's not too many of the old heads there. So I would never take him. I'd take the kid from SMU, to be honest. And we talked about that. That kid from SMU is a problem. And he's going to be a serious problem. I think he's better than the kid from BYU. I think he's more athletic. I think he can shoot better. I think he can get to the basket better. I think he's a better defender. And he has some touches of Jordan a little bit, and he have touches of a Kobe a little bit, and he has touches of a lot of different players. So that kid is under the radar. He's not on a great team, but yet. He's standing out head above heels over everybody else. Yes. And I see him as your first pick. He's a stud. Yeah. And no one's talking about him.
No. And I think that's what bothers me the most, because we have so much eyes and attention on Darren Peterson and pretty much being critique of his game. But if you can't handle the pressure or the critics now on a college level, it's twice as more difficult on a professional level, especially going to an organization, whatever the organization that may be, and being a lottery pick, that comes with a lot of expectations. That comes with a lot of pressure. You have to be able to answer the call. And we've seen that, both Bryant and Terrence and myself, we've seen players in the past that have been lottery picks but haven't lived up to that potential or haven't answered the call. And that's being your best availability to be ready to go at night in and night out. And look, there's 82 games in the NBA season. There's only been 28 games played right now for the Kansas Jayhawks. You're not even halfway through the stretch during an NBA year at this point in the season. I mean, right now we're in March in the NBA. The playoffs don't start till at least another 2 months, kicking off in May, late April, early May. So for Darren Peterson, I just think it's one of those things where, yes, it's your responsibility as a player to take ownership and to take pride in your work. And if you love the game of basketball, like you say you do, let your actions speak for that. Let your game speak for itself. I mean, 14 points in the game against number 5 Houston. Yeah, that's not superb numbers from what we've seen for you in earlier play this year. But same time, you have to take accountability in some of the things that you have done also, and that's missing games and missing action. I mean, Kansas has won without you. I don't think that they can win a national championship if they want to get to another national championship with you on the sidelines. But let this just be a lesson for you as you grow on, that once you get to the professional level, and that's the NBA, the room for error is a little more slimmer than what it is right now. And I know NIL is a whole big movement, and you're getting paid really well, not also from your sponsors, but also from Adidas and the school, as Kansas talked about, as Terrence just touched on. So let this just be a lesson, but also just show us you want to play. I mean, don't say it, show us. I mean, if you're a lone wolf, if you're a lone critic, then, I mean, the media, they can turn the fire up at any point during your professional career in the NBA. They can either love you and write about you in a good way, or they can tear you down and tarn you up, and you'll be all over national television week in and week out. And that's something personally I'm sure you don't want. So Darren Peterson, get it together. Kansas needs you. You're second in the country in scoring, right behind AJ. AJ's averaging around 25 points a game for BYU. But listen, we don't see him having any off-the-court issues or subbing himself out or load management. His brother's out there playing to win, and Kansas needs you to play to win if they want to make sure that they get far in the national tournament or NCAA tournament. Sorry, but Bryant, this. Do you see his stock dropping outside of that lottery pick wave, or do you see him, despite what we're seeing now with the recent play and the recent talks of Darren Peterson, do you see him at least being a top 5 pick, or does he drop outside 5?
He kind of reminds me of our guy that's from Jersey that basically dropped all the way down to the 19th pick, Derek. And we haven't heard from Derek in a long, long time. And Derek was one of those guys that was coming out a few years ago or a couple years ago, and he was supposed to be a lottery pick, and he dropped down to 19. He was playing a little bit. He got hurt, on and off, and really didn't stand out. I can see the same thing happening here. I don't think it's a good idea for any organization to take him as a sure shot top 10. I would take him maybe around 20, 21, 22.
Oh no!
I would. No. This is why.
Oh,
this is why. This is why, because I look at Derek and what Derek has done, and Derek just fell off the face of the earth.
Well, let's not say fell off the face of the earth. Let's not say that.
But yet Derek was one of the top players in the country.
And he's currently right now in the G League, grinding his ass off for the Long Island Nets.
Right, but that's my point right there.
But
he was top. He was top, one of the top 5.
He wasn't a lottery pick,
but he was. He was at one point. He was a top 10. He was a top 10 basketball player, and it went to his head. He didn't play much for Duke. He went on and off tee to top, and he went from being drafted maybe I think 6 through 10 all the way down to 19.
Two different situations.
It's two different situations, but the same result.
Not
you
really.
Get what I'm saying? Yeah.
No. Reason why I say it's two different situations, Brian, is because we look at Derek. He was on a Power 5 team where the other starting 4 can go start anywhere in the country. Not to say that's the case for Kansas. Darren Peterson is in a class of his own because yes, Kansas is a blue blood, but it's not. If we're going to pair Kansas to Duke, two different Power 5 programs and how they run their ship. Right, Darren Peterson being a lone wolf in this, right, being the scorer for Kansas. Derek's role with Duke when he was there, he wasn't the guy that was going to go get you 25 a night. He played his role.
Derek didn't play.
My point exactly. Your best availability is available.
Right. The other, he didn't play. He's Daryl. He's not playing either.
He's missed 11 games, but yet, two different draft classes also.
It's just it makes my point even more because this draft class is a bitch. It's I mean, why would I sit here and take a chance on there for the top 10 pick when you got 30 players that's legit? Like you got 30 players that's legit. This freshman class, and I said this before when the season first started, and I watched the first week of a lot of basketball games, a lot of them. And remember, I got on there and I said, this freshman class is legit. Like, this is the best freshman class I've seen in over probably 10 to 15 years. They are good, like good, like monster, nasty dog good. That anybody can come on there and basically take his spot. He's no guarantee. And at the end of the day, he's on a great team. Mm-hmm. If you take him and put him with SMU,
you could take Darren Peterson and put him anywhere.
I get it, but still, Darren Peterson, you take him with SMU, he's got to work 10 times harder.
Mm-hmm.
He can't.
And you got to count on him. You can't count on him.
That's true. That's true.
You take Peterson and put him with the Bulls.
But let's face it. But let's face it, right? We already know who the top three potential picks are. Peterson, AJ, and Boozer. That's just a lock. No matter where they go, 1 through 3.
I'm not sold on Boozer either.
Here's the thing, Monty. Like, so now because of all of this situation with this load management, he's gotta ball out in the NCAAs. He's got to ball the tournament
in
order to keep his spot.
Yes.
He can't do any load management at halftime.
What
if he's having a bad half? What if they're down by 20 at half and he's not going to play in the second half? Or I would say, you know what? If he's injured, hey, this is something I was thinking about. If he is playing injured, right? How about do what Kyrie did? Kyrie was injured 4 games in of the season. He didn't play. He said, "I'm going to get ready for the pros." Give Kansas back half their money. You're getting money in other places. Say, hey, look, I'm injured. My hamstring is messed up. Don't go out there and injure yourself or try to prove something to everybody else that you're a dog. Say, you know what? I'm going to get back. I'm going to buy out, give you a buyout, and I'm going to go and I'm going to get ready for the NBA. I would respect that.
I agree. I agree. But flip side to it is, Bryant, like this year's class for 2026, I don't think it's there in terms of draft class that we've seen in years past.
Oh, but shit! You're crazy.
But there ain't no scrubs in this draft. This ain't no scrubs in this upcoming draft. I mean, Caleb Wilson for North Carolina. I mean, he's a top 5 pick. I mean, he's averaging over 19 points a game. He's
there
no
are
slouch.
players.
I mean, Kingston Clemens, the guard from Houston, he's no slouch either.
Right. There are freshman players that you haven't seen that you probably won't see in the NCAA because their team is that, but they are fucking good.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm not disagreeing.
I'm not going to put in this type of draft. Now, if he would have came out last year, let's say he was here, then I'd be like, all right, you got to take a risk.
Mm-hmm.
But this year's class, man, you can go like this, close your eyes and say, I want him. And you're going to get a good player.
But as we can see, and I know Terrence can talk about this at some point, with the whole NIL movement, players aren't rushing to go to the pros.
This class is.
Yeah. Well, he's a lottery pick. If you are an agent, Bryan, representing Darren Peterson, you're not gonna say, well, hey man, you're getting $8 million in NIL and another $5 million from Kansas. You're not gonna tell your lottery pick, well, come back to Kansas for year 2 and let's add that more money to the bank account. You're gonna tell your client, listen, you've already maximized your potential in terms of availability for Kansas. Average on 19 points a game. You miss 11. Does he have some off-the-court injury issues? Probably. Who knows? Kansas is doing a great job of probably not telling it. But same time, you're going to tell your client, listen, when you got a chance to be a top 3 or 2 or even a number 1 pick in the NBA draft, you'd be a fool to come back to school. And you know that. Mm-hmm. You know
that's no question. But at the end of the day, from 1 to 32 or however many rounds there is in the first round, I'm going to take the guaranteed money.
Mm-hmm. And Darren Peterson's going to take the guaranteed money.
Right. I'm saying I'm not saying that he's not going to go in the first round, but I'm not going to take him top 10 because of what's going on right now. Mm-hmm. Would I take him at 13, 14? I'd take him 13, 14. I'd take him at 15. I'd take him at 16.
Can I play devil's advocate? So hypothetically, if the Kings get the number 1 pick, do I want to go play in Sacramento? Just think about it. Don't worry. Just think. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I mean, listen. Am I going to leave Lawrenceville, Kansas to go play for the Sacramento Kings, a team that's been pretty much on the downfall since they fired Mike Brown and projected to be one of the worst teams to finish in the NBA? Do I want to leave? Do I want to go play for that?
No. Now, see, you asking the wrong person that question because I don't want to be up in Kansas. I'm gonna tell you because that being in Kansas, that shit's ass. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's only the school that give me California any day over that shit. If it's not the school, then take me to Cali. I deal with that. Build around me because there's been no major studs building up that program over in with Sacramento. So I take that.
Well, I surely would take Kansas taxes before I take LA's taxes.
Well, now that's a whole different story.
That's another story.
That jock tax is beyond stupid.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Before we get to our next topic, and that's the discussion of Floyd Mayweather returning, we have our second guest who's came to join us finally after having some audio difficulties. By the grace of God, his presence is here. We can hear him. His audio's working. Antonio Keene, he's has an adventurous spirit. He's a world-class traveler. He's been to every continent that you can think of, but Antarctica. I'm sure he'll be there at some point. He's from the Bay Area, a true game spirit, born and raised off Too Short and AMAC enthusiast. Yes. And my dog T, quick backstory. Listen, this is Terrence, you talk about you love traveling, right? I get a phone call from T. I knew he was going to be on probably 3-4 weeks ago. He was in Tokyo. It was snowing in Tokyo. He said, I said, listen, man. I need a care package. I need a care package for when you come on. Send me something from Tokyo. I don't care what it is, a hat, shirt, whatever, wristband, whatever, glasses, whatever. So he said, I got you. He didn't tell me what he was going to get. He didn't tell me. I come home probably what's today? Wednesday. I come home Saturday night. I come home. I got a care package in front of my door. Man, open it up. This guy's got me a custom-made Adidas Hong Kong shirt. It's got some flavorful stitches on it. It's a powerful movement around it. The tee's all about positive energy, just uplifting people, talking positive things into people. And then, of course, me being a Black king, of course, that just put a little icing on top. So, T, man, I appreciate you. I know it's been a while since we've seen each other. We first met in 2020 in LA and
CQ, baby.
CQ with the CEO D Nice. We were in we was at
the Lowe's Hotel.
The Lowe's lobby. Yes, probably about 300 people in there.
400, 500.
If you know, you know. And fast forward by the grace of God, all about
corner.
Gentleman's Corner. Shout out to the GC crew. that no longer has been dismantled in some form or fashion. But T, it's always an honor and privilege. Relationships, right? We've always been in contact through these last 6 years or so. Him being on the West Coast, me being on the East, but genuine, real energy never leaves, regardless of where you are at. And T makes it his mission to check up on me from time to time. I make it my mission to check into him, and that's what we're supposed to do as a world, as a culture, right? So, T, man, I just want to give you your flowers while you're here. Same thing I did for Terrence, bringing him on here. So I'm honored and privileged to have you here. But what's up, man? Appreciate the Tokyo gift. Brian's a little jealous, by the way, but that's okay. You know,
man, I would have got you one too, Brian. You know what I'm saying? No love lost. Terrence got love. Hey, Chris, I don't see Chris, but I got love.
Good to see you, man.
Likewise. I appreciate the love. I wanted to give you something that you can cherish forever. No matter what you do in life, I definitely want you to be gifted and let you know no weapons formed against you shall prosper. No matter what we go through in life, man, I want you to always be on top of your game. I want you to always feel like a winner, even when you don't. You know,
listen.
Like AI say, the real AI, no matter where I go, I'm going to be a winner. So I want to give you that energy no matter where you go and what you do in life. Be a winner. You know?
Thank you, man.
Somebody wants you to lose.
Somebody?
Somebody wants you to lose.
Haters hate.
That's how it is.
Hey, T, man.
Huh?
The devil working, man. 53 episodes. You think them folks out there don't want this thing to fail?
Hey, that's what a hater does. But what we got to do is rise above it and say, you know, I know you want me to lose, but you're going to still keep standing. So if I can put my hand down and lift you up and take you to the next level. Because sometimes, you know, with elevation, sometimes requires separation. You know, so even your loved ones, you got to separate yourself from the ones that's going to, they want to hold you back. Oh, no, Monty, you can't do that. That's too big for you, man. You can't handle that. It's overwhelming for you.
God,
you know?
Damn.
So
hey, look.
It could be your loved ones. You know, your family. Hey. Oh, man, we family, man. Sometimes family ain't always blood. See, Bryant and Terrence, I don't know you from a can of paint, but through Monty, hey, man, I love y'all. I know y'all like that.
Thank you, man.
So it's like I've been knowing y'all ever since day one. You know what I'm saying? So I want y'all to feel the energy.
You
know?
Yo, man.
Thank you.
You got me crying on episode 53, man. It's not part of the plan. It's not part of the plan, man.
So I'm still in that elevator.
We're going to attract ideal people and develop divine relationships.
Alignment,
so this right here, divine. We allow no haters in this circle. Hey, if you coming in here want to troll, why are you on the page? Get off. You know? If you got something negative to say, why are you on here? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, with this being said, I want everybody to do the rewind so you can understand exactly what we're talking about. And this is what I call a true fellowship.
That's it.
You know, y'all couldn't hear me at first, but I said, oh, no, I got to get on the mic. And then, hey, Brian, that talk about the iPhone, it's just something about iPhone.
The devil working, brother. Devil's working.
He about to say something slick about the iPhone, boy. He said, no.
Yeah. Yep.
No, I wasn't gonna say nothing slick or nothing like that. I'd say, hey, the iPhone, no disrespect to him, but it say the Android, and then at that time, it gave me the best for my what you call it? You gonna buy one, get one free? This was it. That was it. And you add two more lines, you get this one free, and it just worked at the moment.
Hey, I think let me tell you something, man. There's no better entrance you can make than that right there. No better entrance. I mean, and this is him in real life. Like this is no for camera. Let me tell you something. T is like this in real life. Positive energy. This is what the Rewind is about, man. We get people from all over different walks of life, different cities, different countries, different states. I mean, he's on the West Coast right now in the Bay. He's joining us here live on the East Wing and the Rewind. And listen, man, I divine alignment, right? Divine alignment. Right. This happened organically. It wasn't forced.
No.
Terrence coming on, like he was supposed to be on later in March. But divine alignment, right?
Hey,
right on in at the right time,
right
baby.
I'm blessed to be here.
Hey, without no doubt, man. You know, and like I said, I feel honored just to be a part of y'all team. Whatever it is
always.
you guys got going on, hey, add me to the culture.
We trying,
you know?
We trying. Best believe that. Let's. Are you ready, T? Because business is getting ready to pick back up. Business is getting ready to pick back up. You're in the hot seat. Let's get to it. Floyd Mayweather is returning to boxing to fight no other than Iron Mike Tyson on April 25th, fighting in the Democratic Republic of Congo. A reminder to everyone that this is not a professional bout. This is just another exhibition. The last time we saw Mike Tyson in the exhibition match against Jake Paul, Mike kind of took the gas off him a little bit. Mike was training so hard. I mean, just watching his promo videos, I'm like, Jake Paul's in world trouble. But if you go back and watch the fight when they fought on Netflix at that particular time, Mike kind of just some moments he just kind of left the foot off the gas. I'm not sure what to expect on this one because we do know that Floyd has an undefeated professional boxing record. Regardless of the match, his record won't be affected by it. But Terrence, you've been around the sport of boxing, also been a fan of the sport of boxing. What's something that you're looking forward to seeing, or expectations, I should say, for this upcoming fight? Because Mike Tyson's 59, Floyd Mayweather's 48. What's something that we can expect to see between these two juggernauts getting ready to take place on April 25th?
You know what? Honestly, I don't want to see either one of those guys fight. You know, seeing Mike Tyson, ruin his legacy. And I feel like, this whole situation, not sure about Floyd's money, but there's been allegedly that he's going broke. I feel like his legacy is going to be ruined too. I mean, going from Mike to, I guess him and Pacquiao have already signed a deal for a fight coming up.
Yes.
I really don't want to see these guys fight. I didn't want to see Roy Jones fight Mike Tyson. I don't want to see my legends at an older age fight, but they're fighting for money. Really, they're all fighting for money. And I really honestly don't want to see it. I didn't see the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight. I didn't want him to get hurt. And, I don't really want to see this Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson fight. I just don't want to see these guys. They're a figment of our imagination. They're not what they used to be. And so I just don't want to see this spectacle, I mean, if that money, that $100 helps Floyd Mayweather or Mike Tyson in some way, I'll pay it, but I won't watch it.
Ooh, pay it, but don't watch it. Brian, I mean, Brian, you could piggyback after me. I just think that these exhibition fights doesn't add value or add a purpose to the sport of boxing. In my opinion, I think it diminishes it more and more. I mean, regardless of how much money the Saudis have and what they're willing to pay for these events or where they want to have these events at, it doesn't add value to the sport because you're taking a 59-year-old guy by Mike Tyson who has to now recondition, retrain to get himself in top-notch shape. Not that I'm saying it's a problem to be at the top-notch shape of your condition at 59. Hell, Bryant is 56, 57, and he trains like he's getting ready to go play a football game this upcoming Sunday. However, in terms of the sport, we have so many young stars, so much young talent that we can invest in and put them on these platforms on bigger levels where they can showcase their talent to the world. Why are we going to continuously to waste our time, our money, our viewership with putting two boxing greats? Let's call it for what it is, two boxing greats. But to put two boxing greats that are up there in age, I mean, at 59, you should not be getting in the ring. I look at Mike Tyson at 59. It reminds me of Ric Flair for pro wrestling. I mean, Ric Flair was still in the WWE ring in his late 60s going into his 70s, for crying out loud. I don't want to see no one get hurt in the ring, and I darn sure don't want to see nobody die in the ring. So when I look at this fight between the two, I know it's an exhibition. Is there going to be the level of competitiveness to go out there and want to hurt somebody? Is it going to be the level of competitiveness to go out there and put on a fight for the fans to see? Because if you're going to go out there in the ring, at least leave it all in there. Rather win, lose, or draw, knockout, whatever happens. Is Mike Tyson going to take it easy on Floyd Mayweather like he did Jake Paul? Or is Mike Tyson coming to kick Floyd Mayweather's ass and send him home packing? But in regards to Floyd and his whole financial situation, I don't know how true it is. There's been multiple rumors speculating, even though he's already had 3 fights lined up this year, Pacquiao being the last one, I think, in late September. How much more do we need to see you or see Floyd? I mean, we've already seen you in your prime. You've already avoided a lot of big fights that us as fans wanted to see, and then gave it to us later on when they were already washed up, of not out of their prime. And Mike Tyson's pretty simple. I mean, 59 years old, Iron Mike. What more is it to prove? You've already proved that you are the greatest, arguably the greatest pound-for-pound heavyweight champion in the world. Your story is impeccable in itself. But, Bryan, shine some light on this, man. Is this something that's good for the sport of boxing, or are we just throwing money at legends to say, hey, go out there and put on a show for the fans?
Well, you had, older guys pretty much do the same thing. Mike Tyson at 59, I'm not going to do it. It just makes no sense. He may need money, but he can do other stuff. He was involved in acting, whatever it may be. The only reason why I'll watch it is because it's free. I'm not going to pay money to watch it, because I've seen the other, and it was just
waste your money.
It was just I refuse to pay for it. I got the box upstairs, so I get all the fights and stuff for free anyway. So I'll watch it a little bit, but Mayweather is going to avoid hits anyway, because that's his style of boxing. He give you a little chin and he backs up in the corner. But as an inspector, when I used to do it, it was great. But just sit here in my living room watching 2 old guys go at it, I have no interest in that at all.
Tino, what's something you look forward to seeing in this fight? Do you have, the confidence and the faith that Iron Mike could go in there at 59 years old on April 25th and walk out victorious as a winner?
Well, first of all, I would just like to say I got love for Floyd. I got love for Mike, for the simple fact that they both are great fighters, but they're in 2 different weight classes. Mike Tyson, the youngest heavyweight in history, and then Mayweather, being that he have a impeccable record, 50-50 with 27 KOs. I don't know who's trying to get the bag, but it's just that I don't want you to fight just to get the money.
Right.
You're taking away from the sport in itself. And me personally, my cousin used to be on the Tyson team. So just back in the day when Tyson was in his prime, I had the opportunity to meet Tyson face to face, one-on-one. And I just remember when I first met him, he was like, who is this little nigga? Where did I come from? So my cousin,
who's this guy Tino? Who's Tino?
He's like, who is it? Those was his exact words, but it was out of love, but the way that he said it. And then we was with Lisa Ray. Lisa Ray at the time, we was coming from the Billboard Music Awards in Vegas. And then the Iron Mike, I don't know what it was, but they treated this dude like a king, which, like I say, he's not a king, but we went somewhere in the MGM Grand, like an underground tunnel, just to avoid all of the people trying to take pictures or want autographs or whatnot. And we went to a place, it's not there no more, at the MGM Grand. It was called the Brown Derby. And, Mike was having it his way. I just hate the fact that he went through all the stuff he went through, because he's still a good dude. I don't want nobody to never misunderstand, but he went through a lot of BS. So much love to Mike and much love to Floyd Mayweather. But I don't think they should do it just because, like I say, Floyd got a great record. Go out on the top.
Yeah, go out on the top, man. And, it's just pretty unfortunate for these two at this point in their careers to go out there. But if you're going to go out there at this point, at least leave it all in the ring, right? Let these two just go and clash. I mean, in 2020 hindsight, even at 59, I still think Mike Tyson has the power to go out there and get the job done.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
From a competitive level, I don't know what that looks like, but we'll see on April 25th in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather will get it on. Switching gears again, it's time for episode 53's edition, because Bryant he didn't do it last week, but no better time. Divine, right, Tino? Divine, he gets to debut. He gets to debut his new intro, his new segment, and it's called Unfiltered, episode 53 edition. Bryant, floor is yours.
Well, this week is, I'm troubled by it as a coach for over 30-something years. And just recently, in the state of Florida, they approved Teddy Bridgewater. They call it the Teddy Bridgewater Act. They passed his Teddy Bridgewater Act for him or coaches to be able to take care of student athletes from K through 12 for up to a maximum of $15,000. I give them a round of applause for doing that, but I think that is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my entire life, that you have to put a price tag of a maximum number to take care of kids. That is mind fucking blowing. It's a shame on them politicians for doing that shit, because it should be unlimited. You're talking about K through 12. If you put a price cap on me, that means that over the 30 years that I've coached, not in college because I didn't get no players, no money in college, but while I was in high school, over the 26 of them, I drove all the way down to Villanova to give Randy Foy $300 and $400 at a clip because he didn't have any parents. So basically, I took over as his dad and his coach. I've had guys like Monty that I've brought to my home and fed them and clothed them. I basically coached for 26 years for free. We only got $10,000, but I made 20, so all that was gone. What the fuck do you mean $15,000? It makes no goddamn sense. These kids need help. There's a lot of kids that's in there, that's inside of schools, that are not accounted for as far as athletes. They need help, which a lot of them might help as well. So I'm still pissed off at the rule. I think it's stupid. It's stupid to put $15,000 on it, put a cap on it. I understand it's NIL, but only certain players get those. They don't need the help if they have an NIL deal.
Not in high school.
Yeah, not in high school. Let's talk about the ones that need the clothing, the food, the this and that. These kids, every freaking week, you have to put something in their mouth because they basically can't even gain weight when they come to school because they're eating a stupid-ass lunch. They feed them one slice of pizza and a milk and an apple.
Not to talk about the at-home situation.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to put anybody's business out there, but there are some athletes that I went to their homes personally because I'm a nighttime visitor. I go by their homes because I want to meet the parents, and they don't have one damn light bulb in the house.
That's reality.
That's just real. And you open up the fridge, they had 4 or 5 items in the refrigerator, and they got 5 kids in the projects. So you're going to tell me that you're going to put in a cap of $15,000?
Yeah.
I told my cousins today, Cynthia Johnson, I said, if they put a cap on me, I would tell them to go fuck themselves. And that's just what it is, because nobody's going to put a cap on me with kids. I'm going to take care of them, but make sure they're going to make it. And that's why my percentage is up to the 98th percentile. Every kid that came across my path, they all successful, even more than I am. And that is my take for this section. It pissed me off for seeing it. I would go down to Florida myself and call them a bunch of fucking idiots.
Episode 53's edition of Unfiltered with Bryan Garvin. I don't have really much to add to it. I would have personally loved a public apology for the same folks that screwed them, now the same folks that want to grant him permission to return. That's what I would like to see publicly, but of course that's too much to ask for in today's world. I think the Teddy Bridgewater Act is something that is should be shameful because again, even when you look at schools in Florida or even schools across the country, the budget that they have, unless you're a big football programs in Texas or Atlanta or Los Angeles, I mean, let's just call it Florida, you have a lot of schools that don't have the budget in terms of budget, so they say, in the football program in terms of money that they have, that they already have to access, rather 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, whatever. Brian knows that whole world better than I do. But $15K in personal funds, I mean, listen, Teddy Bridgewater is spending money on transportation for the athletes, Ubers. Teddy Bridgewater is paying for meals for the football team. Who knows what that expense was from training camp throughout the season. Let's not also talk about him investing in equipment for the players, because clearly the school budget didn't have it in the bank account to afford it. And he went out there and spent his own money, not because he was spending it for a tax write-off, because he was spending it for the love of the game and the love of trying to educate and uplift and give the next generation of scholars and athletes something that they may not never have the opportunity to get, and that's having a professional football player in your locker room, in your program as your coach. And not also to Teddy Bridgewater have success as a coach winning a state championship, but to take that away, to suspend him last year through the season, and then to put him through all the stuff you put him through publicly, through the media. Now you want to sit here and have some BS act, Senate 32 votes and counting to zero and say, hey, here's, players allowed to spend $15,000. Is that really going to help the student athlete? Or are we just doing this for public persona? I'm just trying to figure it out. So I have nothing else to do. Terrence and Tino, floor is yours if you want to add.
Yeah, I have a problem with it, and Brian said everything that I feel. But my question is, that 15,000, what is it, per sport or per year?
Personal funds to assist players for the year.
You know what? Like, I remember, like, I'm born and raised in the Bronx, and I'm not going to name the school, but I remember school. We were playing basketball. I played basketball and football, but the team, they had like white T-shirts, and they just put like their number, like a magic marker on the back. Like they just had white T-shirts, and then there was some football teams that didn't have, like the pads for like the bodysuit underneath your uniform, or just had like the proper helmets or cleats or stuff. So and there'll be coaches that would pay for that. And I think it's a disgrace how they treated Teddy Bridgewater, and I think it should not be a limit on what you can do to help these kids, because that money is not just for school or for gear. That money could be like Coach said, it could be for like taxi rides, it could be for food. If the kid didn't have breakfast, the kid may not have lunch or dinner. So it's like that money. Give me, hey, here's some lunch, here's some dinner, here's take care of your sister, here's take care of your mom, here's take care of your brother, here's take care of your dad. It's like right. It's not just they're worried about being I guess an advantage, a sportsman advantage, but no, that money is going to the development of the kid, and to make sure that when they're going to school, they're eating, they have like a proper jacket, maybe like if it's cold, this kid's walking around with no jacket, so it's like you gotta. God. Yeah, like no jacket, maybe like not even socks or clean clothes. Look at what Dion was going through at Jackson State. Mm-hmm. They didn't have anything there.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing at all. Nothing. He brought in clean water. He brought in sponsors. He brought in a lot of like the fields were trash, like everything, the locker rooms. Like he came in and took care of these kids. So that's at the college level. But I'm saying it's just like. He took the onus to do it. And coaches like Coach Bryant, I commend you for taking care of the kids and giving them what they need, because a lot of times, especially in this day and age, parents can't do it.
No.
The economy is screwed up.
Yeah. And one of the things I say, and Tino, you could chime in after me. One of the things I say is like, we see the outside image of a player or athlete. But at the end of the day, until you get to know on a personal level, like Bryan has done during his 26 years of building the relationship, not also with players, but with parents, you get to see a little bit of what that outside life looks like for them at home. A lot of these kids that played for Teddy Bridgewater's program while he was the head coach there, they didn't have the greatest living conditions, right? They clearly didn't have the transportation to go back and forth from practice, but he was putting his own money on the line and paying for these kids' Ubers and transportations and shuttles and stuff like that. So we so busy to try and diminish him for what he's brought to the state of Florida from a football perspective and giving back. But yet we don't want to applaud the good that he's done behind closed doors. He's not doing this for recognition. This is just who he is. And I think it's a problem in the country when we have folks like this that try to do good deeds and folks just want to come in and just tear things down because it's not going their way. And Tino, floor is yours.
Okay, yeah. First of all, I would like to say my hat's off to you, Coach Bryant, that you show love to players who's not even your biological children, for whatever they was lacking in, whether it was financially, for their emotional state, whatever it was, you was there for them and open up your doors for them to come through so they can thrive on and later on in life when they get ready for the real world. But I don't think money, should never be like you can put a ticket on it, all this, whatever the child may need, because sometimes a child can be at home and some kids might be embarrassed to ask for something. They want it, but they don't want to ask. Or just like when I was coming up in school, when you got the free lunch program, kids would tease you because you got the free lunch because mama and daddy, they financial status was able to get you the free lunch or whatever. And based off what you guys talking about, just thank God I had the grandparents who can fit into my life to where, okay, we don't need this, but we got this wherever he was lacking at. So my grandmother, still to this day, I thank her for she influenced me or encouraged me more so, get good grades and stay out of trouble. I'll buy you anything that you want. And that was just from the gate. So growing up as a kid, I just remember, I get to get this. I was encouraged by I won't even call it a carrot on the stick or whatever, but my grandparents filled in my voids to make me molded me who I am today.
Hey, T, you said something that resonated, man. Get good grades and buy you anything you want. Me growing up in the projects, my good grades, my friends were walking around with Kobe's and Shell Toes and LeBrons and Nike Air Forces, man. I get good grades. My grandma would take me to Payless and buy me a pair of Shaqs, a pair of Champions. Put this on your feet, boy, and go play. So, you got to appreciate things in life. And I just didn't want to give up.
She still loved you.
Absolutely. I treated them Shaqs and Champions like they were Kobe's. Like they.
And I better not say nothing about them.
Oh no! Hey, look. I might have got roasted at the cafeteria or in line or in school, but who gives a damn? I know those for the situations and the environment that I was in. I know she was doing the best she can. So, and look, kids today, man, they just got to be appreciative of the things they have because it can be so much far worse. But it's time for this week to do. And say that one more time. Say that one more time.
Entitled to it. Oh, you owe this to me. But I'm just glad I was able to get the good grades, not just for the monetary things or whatever I wanted. It made me feel as though, okay, knowledge is the power. So when you get ready for the real world, show them you got some decorum about yourself. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that. And then another thing, I'm glad she helped me in the way to where I survived the crack game. Like I never been on it. Like never got on drugs and never became where let me try this, let me try that. Like I got over that booby trap. CIA can't fool me. The FBI can't trick me into doing none of that stuff.
And they damn sure would do that because they did it in my neighborhood and in the city of Chicago. Man, the stuff that I've seen, they try to set you up and putting guns in the alley and spread it out throughout the neighborhoods and putting crack. Man, it's a setup from the beginning. But then yet, they sit there and say, the black neighborhood and this and that. Come on, man. I've seen it myself with my own eyes. I've watched you do it.
Yes.
Right. So, man, good points from these guys. Love them. I appreciate them. But business must continue and move on. And it's time for a very, very, very touching rewind of the week because I am not prepared for this. It'll be my first time pretty much unpacking my bags from reading about it and obviously knowing it, and that's learning about the story. But man, just hold on tight because I'm not sure how this will go. So it's time for episode 53's edition of the Rewind of the Week. Normally in this situation on a Rewind of the Week, it's a little bit more enthusiastic, it's a little bit more upscale, positive energy, but this one will be different than a little bit different than all the other ones, and that's Rondale Moore. If you didn't know Rondale Moore, he was a star at Purdue University, leading Big Ten in receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns as a freshman in 2018. Despite only playing 7 games in his final 2 seasons, Moore was a second-round pick by the Arizona Cardinals in the 2021 NFL Draft. With the Cardinals, Moore played in 39 games and produced over 1,200 receiving yards in 3 seasons. Moore's NFL career was marred by injuries as he missed both the 2024 season and the 2025 season after suffering season-ending injuries in preseason. 25 years old and committed suicide, was found dead in his garage. Moore was on the IR this year. And listen, 25. I mean, I can't fathom mentally, right? Your dream is to play in the National Football League. Dreams accomplished. Missed 2 full years of an NFL season. So many setbacks, injuries, the mental capacity that you have to train your mind to get back to the field. I'm sure it would have took that much more to be ready for the 2026 NFL season this year. You can't teach talent. You either have it or you don't. Rondale Moore had that, not also playing for Purdue in the Big Ten, but also playing in the league. Bright star, played in the slot, could punt return, could kick return. But when we talk about mental health in sports, this is part of the problem that I have in terms of the National Football League providing resources for its players. There's 32 teams in the National Football League. There's no reason why they can't be 32 sports psychiatrists, 32 therapists, whatever, at these players' disposals on a 24-hour day-to-day thing. I'm not saying you have to see a therapist every day, but at least once a week. I mean, take it from me, I see my therapist once every 2 weeks. Not saying I'm perfect mentally, but same time to have that mental thought of wanting to take your own life. I can't speak for it because I don't know what he's gone through behind closed doors. I always say, you never know what someone's going through behind closed doors. And good people, right? Having a village, having that support group, having the people check up on you, check up on your loved ones, because you just never know what a text may do. Hey, how are you? Checking in. May not. I have a bad habit. I told my therapist this. I have a bad habit. She told me it's a good habit. I have a habit of, if I think of someone, I instantly reach out via text. Or if I'm driving on the road and I think about someone, I just call. If they don't answer, I'll leave a voicemail. Little things like that goes a long way, I think, in this world. And, of course, we like those things to be reciprocated back consistently, I should say. We all love consistency in life. But for Moore and his family, this is a huge loss for the National Football League. It's a huge loss for his family. I mean, I'm literally a year older, 2 years older than him. And I'm blessed by the grace of God to not ever have those moments to want to take my life. But the suicide rate in America is high. The suicide rate for Black men is high. And there is just nothing that can take me to the place of having the mindset to do that. At least I should say now. Hopefully not ever. But it's mental health is serious. Like, people are battling demons daily. People are battling storms privately. We as people, no matter what we go through in life, it costs $0 to be a good person. It's cost $0 to spread love. It costs $0 to spread positivity. Check up on those people, encourage them, motivate them. I mean, Tino's one of the best spirits, aligned spirits that I've been blessed to meet. And I would never see Tino have a bad day. And if he does, he never shows it. Mm-hmm. But the fact that this young man took his own life at 25, there's just got to be something out there that we can do to help our athletes, to help people, resources. I mean, I know the cost of insurance is high, and it's just unfortunate. It is. And for people out there to think they know, or to have the idea or the notion that they know what it's like, no, you don't. You have no idea. As Brian Garvin says, you have no idea the things that I have on my plate in battering. No idea, right? And that's rightfully so. I may not know, but I know that he knows that he has the access to call me anytime he needs a TED Talk to let some things off his chest. I may not be able to give him any advice. I mean, hell, he's twice my age, for crying out loud. But to have someone there that can listen while that other person is getting everything they need to get off their chest, rather good or bad, that's what we all need in life to have. We need to have people like that to call on, to talk to, even if I'm having a bad day, just someone to get something off my chest, even if you don't have a therapist. But that comes with trust, right? So I just want to send up our prayers on behalf of the brand and Rewind podcast, our prayers and condolences to Rondale Moore's family during this time as they suffer the transition of this young star. But mental health in sports, Terrence, I think that's something that we or they or us doesn't prioritize enough in life. National Football League is a tough grind. Bryan's been able to not get there, but have a taste of what it looks like, trying out for a practice squad, but not making it, right? But the mental capacity and the mental strength that you need to have throughout an NFL season, I'm sure has to be strong, from social media to the fans to the organization, all those different layers, your family, your friends, your girlfriend, your parents, like all these different layers that goes into it on a year in, year out basis. And there really is no off season. It really isn't. The season's over, but the work is still getting done because you're preparing yourself for a new year, OTAs, training camps, etc. But what's your reaction to receiving and learning the news of the passing of Rondale Moore committing suicide at 25?
I think it's a devastating tragedy for his family. I give the family prayers, and for his death. But it's bigger than sports. I mean, I feel like in our community, it's not. We don't go to therapy. It's looked down upon. I mean, it's funny because my show was canceled a bunch of months ago, and then I kind of like got on my best friends and said, hey, you never checked on me. You never checked to see how I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like, forget the going out and and doing this, hanging out, but like, check on me, see how I'm doing. And I'm good, but I want you to check on me. And that's one of the things I think is important, is that we check on each other. Because as men, like, I mean, to be completely honest, we really don't go and like tell our best friends what's going on with us internally. We don't go to our fathers to tell them what's going on internally. We don't go to our women to tell them what's going on internally. And then there's people that don't want to go to see therapy because they feel like it's looked down upon. So it's like, and not saying his situation, but I think it's a bigger picture of Black men in general not seeking therapy because it just looks bad and having nowhere to go. Now with him, he's had some setbacks. He's on his third team. He's had injuries each way. And each time you got to dig deep to come back. And so you have people there helping training with you. But then when you're at home at night, you're at home with you. You're home by yourself. He was a strong guy. I saw a video. He's 180 and he squatted 600 pounds, right? Physically, but mentally, when the pressure is on, like, my value, what's my value? these guys cut me. I may get cut here. I have another season-ending injury. Like, where's my value in myself? You know what I mean? Like I could be out the league now because of these consecutive injuries. You know,
right?
So, and I don't know if he thought he had help. And it's easy to say, yeah, the NFL. I'm sure the NFL has a ton of programs. They have programs that could pick up guys from a club or take guys to and from a club. Guys don't take it. I'm sure there's mental health therapists for them too, but I think it's just a stigma that is attached to these young men, and I think there needs to be a talk about how we should be going to seek therapy, and also as men, like Tino came on in like now we all family.
Yes,
you know we all this here, and I love that, and I'm like, dag, that's the way it should be, not me mugging each other or whatever. But we family. So if you need help or I need help, whatever, and that's the thing. It's just so much going on in such a big picture, you know. And I just want to say one last thing that it could be something that Coach Bryan could talk about too. I mean, CTE possibly. I mean, Chris Henry, when Chris Henry, he was 25, he fell out of the pickup when they did his brain. He had severe CTE. High school, used to do two a days, 3 days in high school, hitting Oklahoma drills. College, the hitting is fiercer, and you know, like you just never know. He shot himself in the head, so we will never know. But Hernandez, they said he had severe CTE. You know, so and he was young.
Talent.
He was 26, 27. So I'm just saying that's another aspect of it. You know, we know all the pro veterans that killed themselves, but I'm just something that could be at hand too.
Yeah, Tino, go speak on this because. You've been a big advocate for mental health. You're also a big advocate for mental health in sports. When you see another young star coming out of college to come into the NFL, achieve his dreams, but to take his life at such a young age at 25, what does that say to you?
It says to me, well, actually, I'm lost for words for that, but at the same time, it was his emotional state, you know, and it might not have nothing to do with football. It could have been his personal life. My deepest sympathy goes out to his family, but like you all was saying about the resources, you know, and you said something about it should be 32 therapists for, you know, for each team. Everybody should have a therapist or whatever the case may be. But then some people are thinking if you go to therapy, somebody gonna think you crazy or somebody gonna have something negative to say. But in my own experience, I've seen therapists, and each therapist have a different approach. And it's not they're trying to get in your mind; they want to figure out and get to the root, the core of it, like what's going on to make you want to break down, or when the walls, you feel like the walls are closing in on you. So create these outlets or anything to make you feel better. Because I would tell anybody that when they're going through something, look for that joy, whatever brings you the joy. Or if you can look for that joy in the time of bad moments or whatever, I'm not saying just only seek it when you're doing bad, look for it at all times. So, you know, basically that's like your tank running on empty. But if you can keep that tank full of joy, no matter what people say, you can just defend and deflect all that negative energy. Not to say, I don't know what happened to Rondale, but he was going through something prior to, you know. And then the question is that really true? Because, you know, the narrative would be that he committed suicide. Is that really true, though? We'll never know. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they put that out there. Oh, they committed suicide. But knowing what I know about politicians and stuff, they'll create that image. Marilyn Monroe, she's committed suicide. So they say. Do we really know? You know?
Yeah. This is a different I think this is legit just from having somewhat of idea of the sports world and seeing a lot of different athletes commit suicide. I mean, to take your own life, that right there in itself, that's mentally, you're so far on another dark island, dark side where there's nothing, no one, no amount of money can attest to bringing you back to the normal state of mind. Bryant, seeing another player of this caliber, because we've seen him play at Purdue. You enjoyed watching him play as a freshman for Purdue, even though we're both Michigan fans. Go Blue. To see this guy fast forward, having 2 injuries back-to-back, missing 2 full seasons, and then to find out the recent news of him taking his own life and being found dead in his garage. What was your reaction to the news?
Well, my thing is, and it's great to hear TNT share their likes on it. Man, I'm gonna take it a little bit deeper as a person that's going through this type of stuff. With me myself coming up, going through the pressures of my mom. She's mentally disabled. My father, him being an alcoholic, and you have those type of pressures as a young kid at the age of 12, 13, and 14, coming through high school. Those pressures that are placed on a young man at that age was never tapped into. So, as like myself, I stayed quiet for years, and no one really knew what I was going through from 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I had a long gap of years of all different type of adversities that I had to face. And inside my mind, I had also had those thought processes of ending my life because I didn't know how to handle that. So that's going to be a part of my book when I write it. But I knew that me ending my life wasn't the answer because there was no one there to take care of my mom because I was the only child. So I was fighting those battles with that, both sides. So looking at Rondale, looking at myself, I'm 100% sure that those some battles that he had fiscally with family issues and some other pressures that he had within him because he don't know what he's going to do with his life because football is his life. Football was my life. Football was my life. So when my career ended at the age of, I was 20, 21, I was young. Most guys that finish in college are 23, 24, and 25. I was 21. And it was like a reality check because I was scared. I had no idea how I was going to take care of my mom. I didn't know how I was going to get a job. I was almost not getting my degree because of all the pressures and I started coaching just to finish my degree, and I just left football alone. And I just had no choices and no answers during that particular time. So those thought processes came through my head a lot. But you had to fight those demons because during those times, therapy wasn't even thought process in the early 90s. Nobody even thought about it. And we had a sports psychologist, but it really wasn't like it is today. So right. I understand exactly the situations that Rondale, went through. When you don't play, you don't get paid. And and he went through it, and I understand that he's looking at himself like if I'm not doing this, what else am I going to do? There were answers for him because he's at the highest level. He just didn't want to see it through because he saw himself as a failure. So it's unfortunate, man, that he chose the easy way out. You just need to, like you guys have said, you have to reach out to your people and talk. But he's 20 something years old, and I wasn't a talker either. I didn't start talking about my mom's disability until I was 35 years old. So
wow.
I know what he went through. I understand those mental lapses that he had coming up as a youngster. And it's hurtful. It's tough, no matter what the situation is. And I hate to be rambling. I had a young man that I knew in Chicago that was 16 years old, and he killed himself over a female.
Oh.
Yeah, he lived right down the street from me. Actually, his name was Tony, and he was one of my good friend's cousin, and he killed himself over a female at the age of 16 years old. So I've seen a lot in my lifetime with suicide, and and it's something mentally that us, especially African American males, that we go through that certain people don't understand, and we didn't have the privilege to be, privileged like certain cultures. Our culture, man, we're being trained to, pull ourselves up from our bootstraps and go out there and do what we need to do without having some assistance and guidance from our older folks. So, and that's why I've coached for years, and I've guided all these young men through so they didn't have to go through the stuff that I went through.
Yeah, we want to send our prayers to Rondale Moore and his family. Tino, normally I really don't. Brian's done it before because he's been a nice guy. He's given his segment to some of our former guests, which I thought is very helpful. I've done it once, I believe, once or twice, but I am giving you the last segment of the night, and I just need your divine alignment, your positivity, your spiritual talk to send us out on a high note, because this right here, I refuse to cry because I know being that young, the hurt. I can only imagine some of the things he's had to battling, the challenges to go through, not being able to want to talk to somebody, not being comfortable to talk to somebody, not having the courage to talk to somebody. But I just want to make it my mission here on the Rewind to end episode 53 on a high note. So episodes 53 edition for Tino's edition. It's Floss with Tino here on the Rewind.
Hey, I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that introduction right there, Monty. I appreciate you letting me take the mic or whatnot. But yeah, much love to the Rondale family, Moore family. It's sad to hear. But we talking about mental health and all that. I want to talk about domestic violence. And reason why I want to talk about domestic violence because I was one of those children that grew up with domestic violence, where you're actually watching your dad not just push her or nothing, like really beat on your mother. So with that being said, I want to focus and ask the question, like ask females, why do you consider yourself to stay in a relationship when you know it's unhealthy? Like when a man is constantly whooping on you for X amount of reason or whatever the case may be, why further the relationship? I don't care how many kids you got, how long you've been married, or don't find an excuse to stay in the relationship when it's toxic. So I love my women, and I never would want to put them in a predicament to where we want to kill one another. I figure when stuff not right, let's talk about it. Let's figure it out. How did we get to this point? Before people want to pull out knives and guns and stuff like that. So, I'm for my women that's been battered, stuff like that. And we all come from a woman. There's nobody on this earth that came from something else. Everybody comes from a woman. Not to put judge on nobody, but this is just what it is in the science of it. But never want to condone man putting their hands on women. And then us, a lot of us brothers are being in American courtrooms for what? These are multi-million, billion-dollar dudes being in the courtrooms behind a woman. I don't understand it. I'm disgusted when I see somebody in the American courtrooms behind something silly. You know? So what can we do about that, fellas? How can we spread this like, hey, let's walk away? You know, because it already done created a narrative, you know, most black men are locked up or on dope or whatever the case may be. I want to be like somebody who wants to help uplift the community. You know, whatever it is.
Yeah, if you don't mind, Monty, me chiming in on this one. Like I mentioned in the previous segment, my mom is mentally ill. She's a manic depressive, schizophrenic, diabetic,
Mm-hmm.
and she, we went through domestic violence, from my father, and as a young man, I sat there and I share this story all the time. And my father and we don't speak at
Mm-hmm.
this moment because now I'm in my 50s and I know Monty have seen that video of me.
I'm gonna put that video on here one day. One day.
Yeah, one day he's gonna see that video.
Y'all want to see the South Side Chicago come out of Bryant?
I'm a grown ass man now, so
Right.
and I would hate to have to beat up a 79-year-old man, and I didn't want to do it, and I didn't do it, but I was going to because when you sit there, and that plays in my head to the day of watching your father put a gun to your mother's head while you on the toilet.
Heartbreaking.
Brother. And I want to show you what an ass whooping feels like. I want to show you what that did to me. That's just one of many things that you did, but that one just sticks. And I couldn't. I was helpless. Those moments of you don't know what people go through when they're young. That's why I stay quiet.
Yeah.
Because I didn't care about nothing else. All those years, I wanted to fuck my father up.
Mm-hmm. I second that.
Mm-hmm. I think to add on to that, Tino, great question. I'm the youngest here, of course, but I'm surrounded by wisdom. And I have been in the situations where I have seen my mom be taken advantage of. I've seen men put their hands on her, mistreat her. Me and her didn't have the greatest relationships growing up. I tell people now I've had the last 3 or 4 years have been the best our relationship has been in my entire life.
Wow.
Right. And that's just by the grace of God, really. But for me, my grandmother always raised me how to treat a woman, how to pour into a woman, how to raise me not to need a woman in terms of being a self-efficient, independent. Those things I still carry today. But I don't believe, personally, I don't believe in putting your hands on a female. It should never be that serious to want to put your hands on a woman. The only time I put my hands on you is in the bedroom, and 9 times out of 10 we're just rubbing and like it's nothing to the extent of hitting, right? And right. I just think that with the evolution of social media and how things are perceived, some women out there actually like that, and they accept that. And if you are a woman of standard, or if you're a woman that has some class, you should never want a man to your man or a man at all to ever put their hands on you, regardless of the situation at all. But the fact that they do it, it goes on social media. It's like a Grammy Award for them to tell it, and to all these different negative things. Mm-hmm. So I just think we have to do more of spread awareness. But at the same time, Tino, when I think about it, that has to do with self. Mm-hmm. Bryan can say all the right things. I can say all the right things. You, Terrence, we can say all the right things. But at the end of the day, that's self. As a woman, you should never want that. But as a man, that makes me question your character. Because if you are willing to take advantage of a woman and put your hands on her, there's no telling what you will do. There's no telling what you do behind closed doors either. So I've never been a fan of domestic violence, and I will go down to my grave as being someone that has high class, that has the basics of knowing what to do in a relationship, what not to do, and I will never put my hands on a woman ever. I mean, there's just nothing in this world that would give me the notion or the idea of like, hey, you or punching or I just don't understand it, but this is the world we live in. Terrence, floor is yours before we sign off.
Yeah, I feel like it starts at a young age. You know, you have to control your emotions, you know, and I think a lot of times, a lot of these houses, they don't have a father figure in there, you know, who could teach them, or a mentor, uncle, or somebody teach them to control your emotions. Because like you said, if you can put your hands on a woman, you can put your hands on any guy out here, you know? And so it like if you're 20, 30, 40, 50 years old, and you haven't been taught to be able to channel your emotions positively, then you're going to act out. If you say something to a woman and she may not agree with you, you know, you may be in your emotions, and because you haven't been taught to control it. Nobody's ever taught you to basically let it go. Like, you know, you have to. It's like you've been taught to not stand on something, you know. Where if you had a mentor, or maybe there should be stuff in schools to teach your kids how to channel their emotions into sports, into meditation, into other things. But I'm not sure. Bryant might. I don't know if they have things like that available for kids, but that's something that we could, you know, if there's not a 2-parent household or something like that, maybe it's something that the school could like kind of take up. But it starts with the emotions. If you can't suppress your emotions or channel it in the right way, then you're going to just spaz out anytime something happens, and that's wrong.
Yeah.
Once you're a grown adult, it's too late.
Too late. Way too late. Yeah. Way too late. I think one of my goals is, and I always want to speak it to exist, just to be in a position to give back to my city in terms of a lot of things that I had the blessing of being in programs. Those things don't exist anymore. And I can only speak from being an inner city kid growing up in the projects. The importance of life skills for these young men it's not there. And listen, I come from a broken home. My father passed when I was a few months old. My mom was in and out of my life, drug addict. My grandma raised me. So if I can do it, there's just anyone can do it. And I didn't have the perfect upbringing, but you know, it's just about empowering people and treating people the right way, treating people with love, treating people with kindness, being nice. Like those things, like you just never know. We shouldn't be in a world we have to bash people to make our point across, or we have to put our hands on people to get our point across, or curse at someone to get our point across. I mean, I'm guilty at this because Brian's giving me a whole lot of F-bombs and mother effers to get it across to my head, but to each his own, right? So as we get ready to sign off on episode 53, we'll go around the room. We'll start with Terrence. For the people out there that's watching, there's people that will be watching episode 53, give them where they can find you on social media, where they can, what things you have cooking in the year 2026, and what's one message you will leave behind for the people.
Well, I'm on IG, TLBDOP. You can see me and some of my work there and my things I'm doing in this world and in life and traveling. Also, my website, www.terrenceleronburke.com. You can check out and see the work I've done and different shows and so forth that I've been a part of. What I have going on now, I'm about to start shooting a film for Pace University and their faculty and students. We're going to work together and shoot a nice film, you know, and hopefully that it'll be something that people will be able to see and watch at festivals and other places. So I'm excited about that. And my final word would be that, you know, we all as men, as Black men in particular, we just reach out to each other and support each other and to, you know, help each other through whatever it is that we're going through. Like Rondale Moore, I'm not saying he didn't have anybody, but, you know, it'll be good if you know somebody's having a problem, just reach out to them or go see them and try to talk to them and be there for them. That's all.
Woo. Hey, Terrence, man, I'm gonna have to come see you out in action, man. I gotta meet you. You're literally right over the bridge. I need to see you, and I need to see you in work, man. I'm here to support. That's just what we do. But I just want to applaud you and thank you for your years of dedication, your years of excellence in the film industry. Being a director, I'm sure, is not easy. Not also in photography, but in the TV and film industry. So we want to give you your flowers. I want to say personally, thank you for all the amazing work you've been able to put to display. Tino, my brother, I love you. Where can the people find you on social media? What's some of the things you have going down the pipe in 2026, and one message you can leave for the people?
First of all, I want to say thank you to the panel, Monty, Chris, Coach Bryan, Terrence. Man, it was a pleasure being with you guys tonight to be a part of this panel and this discussion as grown men. Here we are in 2026. I'm looking forward to the 30th ABFF anniversary. Been going for many, many years. Had the opportunity to meet my girl, the legendary, the Queen Latifah, and she told her security like that me through. You know what I'm saying? So Jeff Friday, he's doing it in Miami, but this year it's going to be in May instead of June. Usually it's always doing the Father's Day weekend, but this is going to be the 30th, and Regina King is going to be the ambassador this year. So I'm looking forward to that. And everybody, I'm at Tino, the one and only. And vote for me. Vote for Tino, trying to be number one. So far, I'm still number one, trying to be get on the Muscle and Health and Fitness magazine. If I take it to the top, that's going to be the grand prize. You know, and then 20K. Not even.
Let's go, baby.
20K. I want to win the cover. So hey, vote for Tino. You will see me on the cover with the Bruce Lee. You know, at Be Water, my friend.
Be water, my friend.
Be water, my friend. That's
Be
what
water, my
the
friend.
concept right here
Be
with
water.
me. I'm in 109 stories up at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Hong Kong, and I went just because it was Bruce Lee's tribute in Hong Kong. The daughter, Shannon Lee, gave a tribute to her father November 27th through December the 7th. So big fan of Bruce Lee, so I had to be there.
Hey,
so
hey.
I wanted to use that.
Well, when I grow up, I want to be just like you, traveling all over the place.
Yeah, me too, man.
Hey,
me too, man.
Me too, man. Be like, yo,
Yeah,
man.
for sure.
Hey, I know I want to be a sports broadcaster, but I don't unless I'm calling the Olympics. Or even I don't know. I'm doing something wrong, man. Tino's been everywhere but Antarctica. Damn.
Yeah.
That's
Travel
great.
miles to rack it up, man. But blessings.
Hey, that's for my granny, man, getting them good grades.
Hey. Tell Granny need a little bit of that. Need a little bit of that love too.
Right.
Bryant, floor is yours. Any last words before we sign off episode 53?
No, man, I want to thank you guys. You kind of opened up some band-aids and wounds of myself. So that was good stuff, man.
My man.
It's what's up. And I'm also I got a friend of mine. His name's Gary Downing. He's starting his own podcast called The Unlock, and I'm gonna be on a guest on his show.
Oh, you're gonna be a guest.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a guest because it's going to be a personal thing, and then I'll tell him about everyone else, of course. That it's going to trickle on down. So
no problem.
It haven't started yet. It's just basically he's lining up all his guests to come on and talk about, because he's a social worker. So he's bringing everybody on as guests to talk about their story. And and he called me up because he knows my story I've known him for over 30 years. So
Love that.
It's going to be something good, and I definitely share the information to bring you guys on, and you can do what you need to do, because all the brothers need to hash this stuff out.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We want to wish Gary tremendous success on his podcast journey as it starts up. We do not gatekeep around here. We're all about uplifting and motivating. But if you haven't, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at @TheRewind_GSC3, as well as follow us on all of our social media platforms at @TheRewind_GSC3. Episode 53 is in the books. Want to give a special thank you to my dog, Chris, and 1990 Studios for all the work he does week in and week out. Shout out to our guy, Pat. Shout out to the GSC3 family and team that helps this thing continue week in and week out. And to our guests, right? To Brian Garvin, to Terrence, to Tino, Monty Moss signing off. We'll see you guys same place, same time next week on Wednesday, 9 o'clock Eastern time on our YouTube channel. And as I always say before at the end of every episode, damn it, I didn't have it for this week. And I said I was going to have it. Wait. Don't go. I thought I had it. I did have it. I don't know what I did with it, but I know it's here somewhere, right? And I know people probably look at me like, what the hell is this guy doing? Is he crazy? Is he stupid? Is he on drugs? I don't know. But go USA, baby.
Let's go!
I was checking out the scouting report, and I don't see nothing but bums. You and your whole entire world know that I am the one. You and your squad ain't got nothing for me. Your organization is looking stressed, and now that you haters is running from me, I know that you see that I'm highly blessed.
Here we go. Yeah, we live with your boy Coach G. Yeah, we live with your boy Monty.
You and your squad ain't got nothing for me. Your organization is looking stressed, and now that you haters is running from me,